Look up the word crazy in the dictionary and you might just find an asterisk beside the definition that says, listen to the Subiquitous podcast featuring Sue Duffield and you'll find out what crazy means. Sue's travelogue journey of unfiltered stories, impossible miracles, and faith-filled fun will be revisited right here. So buckle up and let's get going with this humorous travelogue of an unfiltered saint, Subiquitous.
Episode number 31. I'm Sue Duffield, and it's wonderful to have you with us. You are such wonderful and amazing friends to us during this particular time in life. 2020 has dished us some unfortunate events, but somehow along the line with our Couch to Kitchen concerts and also this podcast, we've been able to reach more people than we've ever in 47 years been able to reach doing live concerts on the road, and then also my speaking. That just blows me away sometimes when I think about it. But all that to say, I still miss going out on the road, and I still miss seeing many of you face to face, and I hope that will change in 2021. But today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about how fun December weddings are. And it didn't occur to me until this morning, actually, that there have been 3 generations of December weddings in my family. I don't know why I never thought about this before, but my mother got married and father got married in December 13th, 1952. Jeff and I were married in December 21st, 1974. And my daughter Annie and son-in-law Doug were married December the 2nd, 2017. And I thought, it never really hit me until this morning. We're carrying an incredible tradition in our family of having December weddings. At least the women are. And so it's been kind of fun to reflect on that. So we're going to go back a few years and talk about that. But in the meantime, I want to suggest to you that if you're still doing some Christmas shopping and still interested, maybe even blessing others at Christmas, yes, that could work as well. Get on SueDuffield.com. We have an amazing array of wonderful gifts like my book, Subiquitous, a humorous travelogue of an unfiltered saint, for those of you that are listening for the first time. It's a great book on humor. It's a great book on surprise and miracles and a lot of faith and a lot of hilarity. And if you know of someone in your sphere of influence that might be on the fence spiritually, this would be a great Christmas gift for them. So for $10, get online, SueDuffield.com, get your PayPal card out, get your Visa card, whatever, and you can just order it that way, and I'll ship it out as soon as it comes in. Also, we have many different hard disks of music. Jeff's incredible Christmas project called In the Key of Christmas is just one of our all-time favorites and one of our best-selling ones. You can also download that on YouTube as well. But you can also order the hard disk on our website at SueDuffield.com. It's also available on Amazon, I think, also, and CD Baby. But all that to say, I want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart for an incredible year of somehow we've been able to sustain a living in the midst of all this craziness. But we thank you in advance, and we thank you for your blessing and for your financial gifts to us during this time. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, send us an email at radiosue@me.com. That's radiosue@me.com. I still kept my old email address from when I used to be a radio DJ back in the early 1900s, whatever it was back in the day. So it's Radio Sue, one word, radiosue@me.com. Send me anything you'd like. I'd love to hear your comments, your criticisms, your suggestions, who you'd like to hear on our podcast, maybe some stories that you even would like us to share. All that to say, this is just one of those fun, homeopathic kind of podcasts that maybe won't change your life, but I hope for one thing, it will be a good enough distraction that you can say, thank God for the thankfulness, thank God for the gratefulness, thank God for the blessings, and especially during 2020 and December. So on December 5 and 20. Well, anyway, we're going to go back a few years and talk about my parents' wedding. Now, obviously, I wasn't there. And Jeff, you weren't there either. But we weren't there. But we've heard stories and we've seen the pictures and we've heard my mother's account, my father's account, our grandparents' account of the wedding.
I must backtrack for just a second.
All right.
This is a homeopathic podcast?
Yes. I think people
right.
people feel very homey when they're listening to it.
Okay. As with many things homeopathic, does it taste bad?
No, I don't know. Hey, okay. I know one thing. This zinc and this D3 thing is really helping us, I think.
I like
and
to think so.
And gargling with Listerine as well.
We have no concrete statistical
No, we can't prove it.
Evidence,
right.
But we're doing what we're told.
We're doing what we're told.
And people, the medical professionals say,
yes,
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. And so, listen, if somebody can learn something from this podcast.
That makes it homeopathic?
That makes it homeopathic.
All right.
And that's not homeo, but
no.
Homeo.
Yeah, let's just move. Well, let's get back up before we get ourselves in trouble.
Oh, that's all right. So
okay, we're back to the weddings.
Yeah,
I was not there.
No, we weren't there, but
nor were you.
No, I wasn't either. No. But we have some friends that were there that are still kicking and screaming with us along the way in their 60s and 70s that were there at the wedding.
Well, do we?
Yeah,
I mean,
Well, Barb Baber, for one, was
true.
there. She was a little girl. She was like only 8 years old, I think. Mm-hmm. And I think our friend Donna McNee was in the wedding. She was like a junior bridesmaid.
Oh, okay.
So she was only like 13, I think.
I see.
So she has some recollections of this wonderful. You got to understand, this was a big deal wedding with my father and mother because it was the very first wedding in Pensgrove Church after it was built.
Right.
So they went all out. And then for it to be a Christmas wedding, my mom and our pastor's wife just literally went to town with decorations. And from what I could see, now the pictures I always thought weren't all that great. I don't know what photographer they used back then, but
they didn't use much of a flash.
I know, it's like so sad because it was kind of an early evening wedding, and there was a lot of
it always looked like your father and mother got married in a dungeon.
I know,
or a cave or whatever.
Know.
Just they themselves are rather lit up, but the surroundings were rather dark.
My mom was always disappointed with the pictures. I don't blame her. I don't blame her because you're right. They were just
dark.
Well, and you would think in the 50s, I mean, we've seen incredible photographers in the 50s.
There were things like lights.
Spotlights, electric,
they had that stuff back then.
But I don't know. But it's sad because everyone that is still alive that talked about that day said it was just a magical day in Pensgrove, New Jersey. It was a magical day. It was.
Isn't that something?
And so did you know my mom worked very, very hard when my dad was in the Navy. And so when they were engaged, my mom worked very hard. And she saved up money to buy material and this very exquisite lace from Philadelphia to have her dress made by one of her dear friends in Salem, New Jersey. And so that was a handmade dress. It's just stunning. And the long lace on the sleeves were just beautiful. And the reason my mom, to be honest with you, the real reason my mother had a dress custom made for her is because she was so tiny.
She couldn't find something.
No. And the days of you going into a store and buying a wedding dress, not as prolific. There was no Dave's Bridal then. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's for sure.
But my mother wore a size 3. And so
You can see in the photographs, what you can see in the photographs, what's lit.
Right.
Is that your mother was really small.
She was tiny.
And your mom was very small anyway, even when I met her years later.
Yeah, she was petite, very petite. And so I did write a little post on Facebook about it this past week there was some controversy about the day of the wedding, and
so I've heard.
Yeah, there was a controversy, and truthfully, I didn't know about the controversy until we spent some time with my cousin Steve a couple of years ago. We got talking about it, and
well, you were the family story I was always told had more to do with the klutziness
of my father,
of your father, versus anything else, that he was attempting to either replace or install a radio in his car.
Right.
And probably add a radio as opposed to replace.
And that morning, you see. But what happened is, what really set this up, I never knew this, But my great uncle Orrin, which is Steve's dad, drove my mother from Salem to Pensgrove on the day of the wedding. And he said that my mother was in tears in the car saying, I don't know if I should marry your father or I should marry Al at the time. And Uncle Orrin said to her, if you want out, I'll just keep driving. Now that I have never, that's a family secret I have never known before, ever. And so, that was like, wow. So then my mother decides, okay, gets herself together. They go over to the pastor's wife's house, which is another tradition. It's interesting. My mom got dressed at Pastor and Wesley and Rita Fritz's home right there in Gulf Manor in Pensgrove. And that was a tradition later on. I got dressed at my pastor's home. So it's interesting. And I don't know that we ever planned that. It was just we kind of just went into that. But my thought was concerning my mother walking down the aisle, and I did hear this from her specifically. She said she was aghast when she saw my father as the closer she got to the altar because he had a black eye.
That's what I heard.
And so, but you can't really see it in the pictures because they're too dark. Darn it. But we have always been told, like, and you can continue with that story. You heard the story. We were always told that he was putting in a radio in the car.
He was doing something with a radio, either replacing or putting one in, probably putting one in.
Right.
But yeah, that's what he was doing. And he was laying on the floor of the car underneath the dash.
Right.
And either the radio fell out, he didn't have it secured properly.
I think you're right.
Or a tool dropped out of his hand or whatever and hit him around his eye.
Yeah.
And caused him to have a black eye. That was what we were told.
Right.
And so we never thought your parents lied, so we just went with it.
Well, yeah, maybe it was, and maybe that was the truth. Maybe it did fall out on
We
him.
don't know.
We don't
because,
know.
You could check with Barb, and you could check with Donna.
Well, Barb was a little girl. She, unless they found out later by my parents.
Right. They may or may not know. But other than that, most of everyone who was in attendance that day was either like your cousin, 3 months old,
right.
So he wouldn't have remembered
and he
it.
made his presence known, I heard. He cried through the whole ceremony.
Right. And maybe he wasn't all that happy about it either. But he was. But he would not. He would not be able to remember the exact, situation there.
Right. Right.
Or anybody else is no longer living.
No, they're not. And so then the rumor has it later we were told that there was an altercation between my Uncle Orrin and my father. Because
your cousin said. I was there for that statement.
And then today on Facebook he says, no, that never happened. So now I'm confused.
Right.
I'm really confused.
And when he said that to you, I was sitting there.
I know.
And he said, no, that story about your father on the radio wasn't true. He got into a fight with my father.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, whoever provoked
the bottom line is your parents were married nigh unto close to 50 years. They made it almost 50 years. Your brother and you showed up, and there we go.
I know.
So whatever the circumstances were prior to the hitching,
that's right.
As they say, it took.
It took.
Yeah.
And as I look back and just think about the day I got married to you, which we were only 19.
That's right. You did marry me.
I did. I was getting ready to say I got married, but I thought, no, it takes two to get married.
It does take two. Last I knew.
That's right. It takes two, baby.
Recent social changes to the contrary, I still think you have to have two individuals.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it all becomes surreal because here I am now. And the reason that we got married in 1974.
Wait a minute. This sounds
I'm
like
building
it
up to it. The reason we got married
gossip program
in December
is. there we go. Okay.
Why did we get married in December? Not because it was a generational thing.
No.
Not because it was so romantic. Why did we get married in December?
Well, because like everything else we've done in our entire lives, it was practical.
There you go. That's the Jeff Duffield approach.
Well, it's not it wasn't me.
No, I know.
If it had been up to me, we would have gotten married in August.
Oh, you wanted it earlier?
Well, let's get it over with.
You have to plan.
That's what I was told.
We didn't get engaged until that summer. You can't plan a wedding in 6 weeks.
We got engaged in April. If you want to know the history,
all right.
I'll give it to you.
Okay. I thought it was in summer.
We got sometime around the middle or the end of April, we received in the mail our income tax refund check. Both of us. The grand total of $300-some a
but
piece.
You know what? That's a lot of money back then. It really
we
was.
Thought it was.
I did.
We thought it was a lot of money, $600.
Whew, Jesus.
And we had been on the road.
Right.
This was with the Sammy Hall Singers.
That's correct.
We had been, as a matter of fact, we'd been in Texas, and we drove all night from Dallas.
Okay.
And got home to our home in Tennessee. And checked the mail that morning. It was a Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was, probably a Tuesday. And we had a week off.
Yeah.
And as we were wont to do in those early days, 18, 19 years old, when we had a week off of the road, we would jump in the car and drive to New Jersey.
Yeah.
To see family and so forth. So anyway, we saw the checks were there. We had over $600. We were loaded.
You might as well put $6,000 in my pocket today.
Pretty much.
I mean, it
or
really
60.
felt like that.
Yeah. And so we jumped in the car, and we had already made up our minds we were getting married, but no one knew it other than you and I.
Okay.
And
we're all of 19. That's what's so weird.
No, in April of
we were 18.
74, I was 18. I did not turn 19 until a month later.
What were we thinking?
Well, that's what you did back then.
Kids don't get married at 18 anymore.
I guess not.
This is a shotgun wedding.
Yeah, well, anyhow, we drove home.
Oh, man.
We ended up going to dinner at our pastor's house, the new pastor at that time, John Hammercheck, and his wife. And he invited not only the two of us, he invited your parents.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And my parents.
Yeah.
And you and I decided beforehand
that we would make the big announcement.
This would be where we would make the announcement.
Oh, that's right.
And somehow we worked up the courage to do this. Your parents were at least acted happy.
They were elated.
My parents acted floored.
I know. They were like, what?
Yeah, I expected the exact opposite. So either somebody was a good actor or whatever.
Well, it just tells you think you know people, but they don't. But
so then to the practical part. Now, there is a direction I'm going with this. You answer your question. The practical part was we weren't going to be home any amount of time.
Right.
In the near future, we were on the road with the band, and we did have 3 weeks in August vacation. So you and your mother decided.
I know, that's right, we did.
I said, hey, there's 3 weeks we can get married and, whatever. And you just said, no, we have too much to do.
We need a wedding. We need a party.
I can't do it in Tennessee. We can't plan it in Tennessee with my mother being in New Jersey. So we have to use those 3 weeks to plan.
That's right.
And so the only other time the band would be off the road for any amount of time
was December.
5 and 20.
What was going on with you that morning, though, of the wedding? I remember you said you got new shoes. You got new shoes. What's that?
I slept till 10 o'clock.
Did you sleep that long?
I didn't have to get my hair done.
You know what? I didn't either. And let me tell you, that's another story. I refused to go to a hairdresser. And that back then that was a big deal.
That was sacrilege.
You go to the salon,
yes.
and you
No. You go to the beauty parlor.
Oh, the beauty parlor.
Today
That's
it's called a salon.
The beauty parlor.
Yes.
How could I forget? And my mother went and had her hair all teased out
and so did my mother.
Yeah, and I'm like,
they never looked that way. I knew my mother for 74 years, okay?
And she never looked like that.
And she never looked like that until I got married, and before or after.
And it was nice. That's what we did. You want to look nice. Now it's a different story. You're more relaxed and more natural looking.
In some instances. Yeah.
But I did my own hair.
Yeah.
You know what?
See, I didn't see you that day. We were obeying protocol.
No, that's right, the protocol.
So I stayed at my parents' house.
Right.
Of course, I had been staying there anyway.
Right.
I stayed at my parents' house. You were staying at your parents' house.
Right.
And so I didn't see you. Well, I saw you the night before because we had the rehearsal, obviously.
Right. Yeah, but not until the actual, when I'm walking down the aisle.
And then I didn't see you again from
We didn't
Friday.
have what they call first look like they do today.
No, we had none of those things. We didn't have second look, first look,
We had
previews,
last look.
coming attractions. We had none of that.
No, none of that. We didn't have. We didn't even have a video of our wedding.
So I think now I don't believe I bought my shoes the wedding day. I don't think I did that.
Oh, no. You bought them way in advance.
Yes.
But the problem was you didn't wear them beforehand to break them in.
The problem was I didn't know what I was doing buying dress shoes.
I know. And then you hated them and you never wore them again.
I did not. I went to Rovner's department store in Bridgeton, my hometown, because that's where you went for all your hoity-toity stuff.
That's right.
Because you didn't have anything like Rovner's in Pennsgrove.
No, we had Shoe Town in Pennsville. Anyways,
I had to buy Fancy Dan's shoes.
Yeah.
So I went over to Rovner's and bought Florsheim's that they were not comfortable. I got through the wedding and never wore them again.
But you're so weird anyway, though, Jeff.
Thank you.
No, I mean it in a nice way. You are so weird about your feet. You don't like. I don't know. There's just shoes.
Well,
it's hard to find shoes for you that you like. Here's
what I discovered when I was in my teenage years. The cool thing was to wear pointy shoes.
Well, then that's not good.
We found that out.
Yes,
didn't I?
Not. That's
yes,
right.
we found it because I had problems with my feet when I was in my teenage years and 20s, and come to find out, my feet are wide.
Oh yeah.
So here's a miracle. I started buying wider shoes, and I stopped having trouble with my feet. Wow, what a revolting development that is. So that was part of the problem. That the shoes were in the 70s. Pointy shoes were hip, I guess.
Oh.
So that was part of the problem. So anyway, I bought shoes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And then we were back to Saturday morning, the morning of the wedding.
Right.
And I got up at my parents' house. Nobody was there.
Right.
Because my sister, who was five at the time, and my mother were getting their hair done, or their hair did.
Their hair did.
As they say. So my father was with them because my mother didn't drive. So my father had to take them to get their hair did.
That's right.
I guess my brother was there at the house. I don't know. Don't remember.
No, and I remember the pictures that were being taken beforehand were out back of the church with you and your guys.
Well, that was a little bit later.
Yeah, that was that.
And that was with my best man. That was the only photo I had taken with any of the ushers or anything.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little tiny bit, because we're running out of time already. I can't believe, podcasts with you is just amazing.
Well, you had about a 10-minute dissertation there about whatever it was you were talking about. I had to go back and listen to it.
I was doing a commercial.
Yeah, that was part of it. Anyhow,
but
move on.
But not trying to make it sound like a commercial.
No, I know.
I did commercial radio for years.
Yes,
and I didn't,
yes.
That's
and
okay.
Go ahead.
But I wanted to say a little bit of a fast forward here.
Go for it.
You know what I loved? I love the fact that we went to Mount Airy Lodge for our honeymoon in the Poconos.
Yes, that was after. Mm-hmm.
Well, of course it was after.
Well, just making sure everyone understands the chronology here.
I said fast forward.
Yes.
Did you take your vitamins and your blood pressure pill
I
today?
think I did,
okay,
yes.
All right,
I think I did.
Okay, so.
Go ahead.
But now there is no such animal. There is no Mount Airy Lodge, and now it's a casino.
No, not as we remember.
No, we don't remember.
And I remember feeling spiritually guilty.
I know what you're going to say.
Because we went there.
Because we were raised prehistorically Pentecostal.
Yes,
I understand.
And we got up there Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Because we didn't make it there Saturday night, which is a whole other story.
Well, that's right. You can tell them.
We got tired. So we went across the...
And we stayed our first night at the Ramada Inn at the Delaware Memorial Bridge.
If we'd yelled real loud, your parents would have heard us.
That was the dumbest thing. I don't know what we were thinking.
We didn't... Well, neither one of us felt like driving. We were flat wore out.
Well, we didn't eat anything at the reception.
We did not.
No, we ate nothing.
I had a piece of roast beef.
I was kind of nervous. I was like...
Well, and at the wedding reception, everybody's saying, "Here, come talk to this guy."
I know. And my father was handing out those funny little business cards.
That had nothing to do with me not eating.
What was it said on them?
Oh, I don't remember. But something to the effect that no one knows who I am today. I'm just the father of the bride, but come tomorrow, they're all going to know when they want their money for the wedding.
That's right.
Something to
but
that
the
effect.
banking institutions all know my
Something
name,
like
which is so
the
funny.
banker
My
knows
father,
name.
he had to be. You had to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Mount Airy
anyway,
Lodge, we took a trip a few years ago back.
We did, but we went up there Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, or whatever it was. Got there, checked in, and then part of the package, as it were, was we went to dinner that night in a very nice restaurant there in the lodge.
It was beautiful,
and they had a band. They had like a 6 or 8 piece band
it was
playing,
awesome.
and people were dancing, and we felt like, oh my, there's no redemption for us anymore.
I know, and I hate that
dancing.
because now we would do things so amazingly different.
And we did.
Yeah,
we did later on. We did for our 25th wedding anniversary.
So then several years forward.
Yes.
Annie and Doug get married at Marathon Works downtown Nashville. A beautiful old building, old warehouse that was decorated gorgeously. And they kind of experienced the same kind of feeling of, wow, a December wedding, kind of like a winter solstice wedding. It was just gorgeous. It was beautiful. And I go back the next day after the wedding is over. And I just walk through the event.
I forgot this.
Yeah. And I think I forgot something there. Oh, I know what it was. It was a cake stand I was looking for.
Okay.
And so I told Annie, I'll go back and I'll go look. And I walk and I thought, that place was packed that night. Her friends and our family that flew in from all over and friends. It was just it was a wonderful, wonderful evening. And so I can't find the cake stand. So I go downstairs and the woman says, now the trash hasn't come yet. Now there's a good chance that the dumpster outside might still have it.
You weren't looking for the cake stand. You were looking for the cake.
No. I was looking for the cake?
Yeah, nobody could find the wedding cake.
Oh, the top of the wedding cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
went
go
down
out
there
to the
looking for it.
Yeah, that's right. I go out to the dumpster and there is a cake box in there.
Right.
And I bend over.
And you fell
and
into
I
the
fall
dumpster.
into the dumpster.
Why am I not surprised?
And first of all, when I fell in, I laughed out loud because I'm thinking, surveillance cameras probably already got this, and this is going to be a hit on YouTube.
We need to look and see if there is such a thing. We've never bothered
I never
to do
did
that.
look. So
Yeah.
all that to say, December weddings are some of my favorite memories, but always, 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 if you're Sue Duffield, you're going to find something funny. And so you know what I did? I hid in the dumpster until this other guy in the parking lot pulled out, and then I tried to climb out, which was another interesting feat for me to try to.
I wasn't there, but I'm sure. Probably should have been there.
Oh, man. So I have for you, Jeffrey.
You do,
because of
Susan.
December weddings and our wedding anniversary, 46 years.
I was getting ready to ask you, how many is it? Yeah, because you're the one
didn't
can never
know?
remember how many years.
Oh, so I have a poem just for you.
A poem?
Yeah, and so
it is 46 years.
Yes, and if you want to put some pretty Christmas music behind me, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, here, I'm just going to set the mood for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
ready.
I want to say to you, the best gift at Christmas is easy to see. It's not wrapped in paper or under the tree. Because the best gift at Christmas and all the year through is having a man as special as you.
Oh,
Did you like that?
That's very
All right, wait, I got more.
Burma shave.
Because I'm trying to get a nice present. Okay, so I don't want a lot for Christmas. There's just one thing that I need. Keep your eyes connected to mine, and I'm sure you will see. Love that shines so brightly, attraction super strong. I love you so much, baby. You're my Christmas all year long. Do you like that?
Why are you applauding?
Because I'm thinking this is going to get me my earrings. All right, wait. I got more here. I got one more.
Okay, you got the gift. It's just,
3 little words. I love you. I really, truly do. 3 Christmas words. I love you. Said just to you. 3 seasonal words. I love you. Now and all year through. Will I get my makeup mirror that I want from Costco?
I imagine we could do that.
Okay.
A makeup mirror? Sounds like
It's
something
one of those
out of a
lighted
Barbie
makeup mirrors,
collection.
that makes me see just how old I'm becoming.
It sounds like it's something I need to go to Toys R Us to get for a Barbie collection. A makeup mirror.
Oh, man.
That's nice. Where did you get that?
Oh, just off, I'm just that good.
Poems R Us?
Yeah, Poems R Us.
Okay.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Subiquitous Podcast, episode number 31. We love December, and we love December weddings. And we will tell you one thing is for sure. If you don't have a sense of humor, you're not going to go anywhere when it comes to being married. Because at least on our part, we find that to be one of the greatest gifts that God has ever given us in our marriage is a sense of humor. And the fact, too, that if we laugh through the process like we've done all year long, it not only helps us, it's also very homeopathic, as we said in the beginning of this December wedding episode number 31. Every time we love and every time we give, it's Christmas every day. So it's not just in December, it's every single day. Episode number 31. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.